Welcome to what will probably be our final look at the Splatoon 3 single-player campaign. We've been playing it intermittently over the course of the week. The game has been patched to 1.1.1 in the meantime, although I don't think that affects anything we've been doing. We'll sit through the announcements for a change instead of getting right in. I have not yet picked a team for the upcoming Splatfest. I'm currently assigned to the NA region, but we'll see if it makes sense to stick with that. Turf war battles are all about inking turf. Yeah, I mean, depends how you play, I suppose. I'm thinking I'll probably choose gear. Now, here's the interesting thing. On the companion app, and I don't think this was the case for Splatoon 2, but for Splatoon 3 on the companion app, you're actually able to see what friends in your region either have picked or intend to pick. And you can actually signal to other people that I'm thinking about picking this team, so you can get organized with them. I'm currently in NA if you don't see me there, if you're based in EU still. But I'm probably going with gear. Because there are a number of people I could drop in and play with who are already picking gear, and also because I find it innately appealing. The summon is just kind of leave big man alone. Yeah, he's very well in tune with them. Yeah, this is actually the first time in about 4 or 5 years that I've even looked at the companion app. And yeah, somebody's picking gear. As you can see, I actually have not been playing the standard multiplayer that much, just being in level 10 right now. It's been a lot of salmon run and a lot of campaigns, so we might as well head straight back in. I mean, I say I haven't been playing very much, but that is relative. Because, of course, I see some people having already logged like 50 or 60 hours on this thing, and that's well beyond what I'm doing. So, just to begin with a look over what we did last time. We did finish Sites 5 and 6 in the previous stream, and it only took me maybe about 10 minutes or so to actually mop it up, explore every little nook and cranny of the map, and just make sure everything is collected and surveyed. So we do have 100% in all of the map stickers for Sites 1 through 6. So that's business that has been taken care of. We've previously looked at the archive and the scrolls, and what's left for me is whatever is in that central rocket base. So let's head over there and see if we can take a look after we construct whatever object this is that we're going to put together. I actually can't really tell. But, oh yeah, I think I also, since I collected everything, plugged in all of the remaining hero gear upgrades, so we are kind of at 100% for this as well. And so Small Fry is now super powered. Let's get into the rocket and continue. Is all my hero gear the way I want it? Yes. I mean, this is clearly the point of no return. Very similar to the Octo expansion finale, perhaps, but we'll see what it's going to bring to the table. This is the final confirmation. Are you really super, ultra, mega sure you're ready? Yes, let's say we are. Gramps has to be up there somewhere. Sure he is. There's too much fuzzy ooze in the way. I noticed no Pearl or Marina yet in this campaign. And we'll see if they're waiting for the expansion. Or if they'll come in with their helicopter at some point. I'm not expecting it. They haven't really been set up in this campaign at all, so. By the power of chowder. Okay, this is neat. The saxophone adds a very nice touch, very essential to this. Okay, Captain, go. All that work in Splatoon 1 really did pay off. Well, this is why we can't play as the captain anymore. Yeah, I guess we gave the whole thing a pretty close shave. You know what that oddly reminds me of? Is busting up the flame clocks in Xenoblade 3, where, you know, your hero character just pulls out their tool and gets the job done. I hope there's a way to rewatch that cutscene. That would be fun. Anyway. You'd have to go back in time for it, of course, but... Captain, are you okay? You sprained the tentacle. Okay, that explains why we just can't have superpowered hero doing all the work for me. And here are our rivals. If you don't want to tangle a deep cut, put down the treasure and walk away. Eh, they should have learned their lesson the first time. Yeah, they don't know how much value has been lost here. Expect us to believe you're just going to give us the treasure. Let's say yes. Yeah, that's okay. They'll serve out their penance, having to work the studio and babble at us every time we log on. Yeah, they've been recruited. How many agent numbers are we up to now? I mean, Agent 8 is already taken due to Octo expansion, but I think we had a couple of slots to fill before that. So familiar. Yeah, I mean... Haven't used Squiddos, ever heard of Eric Clapton? Which, eventually, when I go over to VOD, is going to make no sense to people who don't know that just prior to this we played an Eric Clapton level in Mario Maker. Anyway, no map access over here, but we can talk their ears off. And Agent 2 is in charge. Agent 3 has nothing to say, as usual. Yeah, take it easy, Captain. Let's head on up. Let's stop thinking about poor Gramps all alone up there somewhere. We've got to focus and move on. Well, it looks like the calm before a storm here. As we see how much there is left to climb. Looks like a pretty extensive structure, in fact. But no real optional paths so far, so we'll just forge on straight ahead. And yeah, if you look at the map here, very reminiscent of the Escape from the Underground in Octo Expansion. 9999. The Alternate Space Center. And we have to use small fry, that's great. Pets and or sidekicks are allowed, yeah. That's very convenient. I'm glad we have a good sidekick that is fully upgraded at this point. That decision certainly paid off. He took everything. We've got small fry, we're okay. The trap worked to dance right now, yeah. I guess Fry is really into trap music. I see your gear, you should be able to get it back if you make it through this. Yeah, I don't know how the audio is on your end. I can hear it fine locally here, but if you want me to turn it up onto stream, I might be able to raise that, but we'll see. Anyway. Yeah, so Small Fry is going to step on that pad, and it's going to be a cooperative dungeon. Yeah, no, I can hear it just fine, actually. I actually am on headset for once. I decided specifically to play Splatoon on headset, so... Death by committee? Yeah, small fry will take them all out. The small fry can, in fact, take out this object up here. Blow it up, and... Oh, that totally didn't work. Kind of need to get the shielded ones into the central position first, and then... There we go. That's a little bit more explosion that's going to happen here. Look at Small Fry really going for Employee of the Month here. To get used to the slow walking speed, of course. We go weaponless. Whoa. And up the lift we go. We can probably get Small Fry back at this point, unless... Oh, this guy's coming along. And that's fine. He's just going to send me right over. 2 vaults and probably keys on the left side. We've got 10 over there. Got cash over here. Not that we need it for anything. Yeah. No, he can't collect that anyway. I have to collect on a foot. Okay, we'll just jump from one to the next. Nice to have a really focused Small Fry segment, actually. We haven't had that many of them, surprisingly, although... I guess the fact that there is a weapon select on all of the other levels, or most of the other levels, is a constraint in how much you can reasonably depend on Small Fry mechanics over the course of designing this game. So, we will, of course, drop into the center once I've had a good look around. I've got his crate down there, as well as a whole bunch of enemy ink. And something optional back there as well. Let's think about that later, unless I want to drop down... No, I can't make that gap. Okay. Not even close. What is that smell? Anyway, here's key number 1. Yeah, we saw key number 2 off in the distance, but we'll need to close up the distance first. Surprise way of sniffing out a key. Now, we should go down and around and let Small Fry operate accordingly. So, we've got 2 routes up. Don't really need both of them. We'll just collect a few eggs along the way and then see what's here. There we are. Final checkpoint, at least for this section. Oh, pretty straightforward so far. And we'll just head back and head over to the other side. A couple of rings here on the outside that we should probably be aware of. Oh. Yeah, I guess this is where we came in previously. That was not the way out, but let's see if we can navigate somehow. So we came in here, we need to navigate a bit of a maze here. Oh, except we probably can get over. Nothing there, but there is a grate that will get me over to the other side, and I think that might be where we want to go. That faces the outside. Let's see. We'll go back. And we'll check it out. Oh. A bit of a maze. There we go. That's progress. Awfully familiar. Yeah, a lot of enemy ink to deal with, so freezing it isn't going to do much for me, but we can do what Shiver said. If somebody would like to interpret. So if we freeze this, it's not going to drop anything, but Let's think about this for a moment. It's going to chase over here. We might just have to go around. Let's take a look over here. I feel like that might be a return path. On the other hand, unlocking vault number 1 gets me nothing. And something's going on over there, but nothing we can use just yet. That's okay, we'll reconsider this. It's probably something really obvious. Oh yeah, we fell back down again. That's fine, we'll just get back up. And fall in on the right side. Which we can do. Let me just take a look and scout up here. I think we could probably... Yeah, we just needed to go up that grate and then drop in from on top. We can do that. Shouldn't be too troublesome as long as we find a way to actually get up there, which should be from this angle. We can find our way up. Hang on. Probably missing something really, really obvious. Yeah, because I came in this way. We'd want to get on top of that grate if we want to get on top of the flutter over there. And we can freeze it in position, but not too much more besides that. There's nowhere else to go here. Oh, there's that key over there, but we would need to reach that first. A bit of a big jump. I don't think we'll make it. Let's visualize this again and see. Sound is dead. That's really unfortunate. Hang on. It was going so well for a while, too. Let's fix that up and get music back in a mix. Luckily, we're playing campaign, and most other modes in Splatoon 3, everything is very connection sensitive. I was surprised to discover that's true of Table Turf Battle as well, where Table Turf does require you to be online or it kicks you, even if you're playing against AI. Probably because, you know, there's a meter to grind and they don't want anybody cheating things offline without contact with the server to synchronize rewards and such. Sound should be back though. Let's continue. Okay. What am I missing? You can freeze this guy. You can also maybe get small fry to break the back there. Yeah, let me know if sound sounds alright or if it came back with a bit of distortion like it had done previously. Should be okay at this point though. So you can freeze this guy. But then... Whoops. And he'll get into a bit of a panic, but then... What does he do for me? I feel like I need to get onto the upper level somehow, and that's where the key is placed. I feel like this is going to be the destination, not the entrance. That what we should actually be doing is getting Small Fry to hit the propeller on the other side and raising that instead so I can target it. Because we're thinking about it the wrong way. We're thinking about starting on this side and going back when we should actually be thinking about the reverse. And so we need to think about the vantage from which we're going to hit that propeller. Looks like it might be from all the way up top. So let's go back and do it. It's going to be a long throw, but I think probably function somehow. And it's going to be a really long throw, actually. I don't think that will be it then. Unless we have to go out back from the other room later. Yeah, because I don't see where that platform is going. I don't really want to go back into the box maze unless we know what we're doing. So let's just take a careful look here. Yeah, because we dropped down previously, we got through all the squid rings, we went down, we looked, scouted ahead. And then we unlocked that first vault. So now... yeah, there's something I'm not seeing about this. He's gonna step on that like it's something waiting to be inked. Nope, hang on. So that's gonna get stopped, but then I still can't get an angle that will allow me to get on it. Let's rethink this. Possibly there's a second key that's in this section here that we just haven't discovered yet. That's one possibility, is that we have to get both keys now, rather than later. That's something I hadn't considered. I don't think so, though. We're somewhat thorough. My spatial sense is sometimes not the best. So, let's take a look here. Yeah, because we've got a little bit of ink either way. Got a checkpoint here, which was supposedly the final checkpoint. Crossed over. Came down. Through the rings. And... maybe some other target to hit that I just haven't considered yet. Or maybe Small Fry can just grab the key. You cannot just grab the key, okay. Yeah, that spots him. That's not good. Hang on. It looks like I am supposed to reach it from the other side and reach that fan, but we... probably just... there's something critical about the way this is laid out. It looks like that vantage point was supposed to give me a clue, but... currently I don't see it. So we've unlocked this, but I think we probably need both pieces to be available to do anything about it. We know that Small Fry is able to do the foot pressure pads. Small Fry probably can't use the scouting pad. Can't believe I can't see this. Maybe we've just been on and playing for too long today. Unless I'm just supposed to jump it. Did I get the key in a tower? Yeah, I did. One key. But I'm thinking that maybe the possibility is that there are two keys in here, and if there are, then... yeah, I got the key in a tower already, so we unlocked one spot, and I don't know what to do with it necessarily. We'll figure it out. It just takes a little bit of wandering to see what I haven't interacted with, especially because I tend to get a little bit lost in here. I'm missing something really obvious, yeah, almost certainly. It has to be obvious, otherwise, like, there's no way this could be the roadblock. Because we hit final checkpoint, this is the way forward, for sure. Yeah, really annoying that audio is doing this to me today. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Hang on. Yeah, it was just going perfectly for days. We'll have to figure it out. I must be close to figuring out what the specific issue is with the current setup. But Okay, so you can freeze this guy, but I definitely can't walk under him. I'll just get splatted, right? I'll definitely get splatted. Oh, unless I don't. No, no, no. I would definitely get splatted. There's no way. There's no way I'm just supposed to walk it. Didn't know my ink resistance was that far up. Yeah, there's no way, right? No, absolutely not. That goes against all known Splatoon principle. Some kind of switch I haven't hit, perhaps. Or... because he's flooded the area already, I don't have a way of generating ink myself. And I need to think about what Small Fry can interact with. We know Small Fry can interact with the fans. We know Small Fry can freeze this guy. We know we can charge up the ink here. I can't quite reach far enough to get the crates open. It's gotta be really, really conspicuous what it is that I'm missing. We've gone back to the previous area. We've checked where we can fall through the floor. We've checked where we can potentially go up, which is not here. Dropped in this side, came in. This might be a cautionary tale in playing while slightly tired and on several hours already. I'm sure this must be very frustrating to watch if you already know the solution. As I'm coming over here, I don't see any other targets to hit. Over here, we have a shortcut down. It's not the tower, yeah. But there's no way for me to gain elevation, that's the thing. And there's the key over there. I think I tried targeting the key with Small Fry to see if Small Fry could do the collection. I didn't think so. Because in general you can break crates but not collect objects, right? So... well, I don't have... any ink I can swim up. Do you think I actually bugged this out, or... because is it missing something that you expected to be here? Where something just didn't trigger? Okay, okay. Let's see then. Let's go back to the camp and redo it. One of those things on rails. Like one of these guys, right? Or are we just straight up missing one, or is it... this is unfortunate. Yeah, because I was thinking that eventually I would need to hit the one that's on the far side. Because we've already seen all of their relevant placements. And the tracks only go so far. The tracks only go as far. The ink roller thingies that has a set path. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, because I guess that's what this is supposed to be, except it has to be activated, right? And it has to be pushed to give you a trail that cuts all the way across. Because we unlocked one thing with the key. And that's all we've done so far. That's all we've managed to do. You can always just jump off. Yeah, yeah, maybe I should reset this and see if the checkpoint fixes things. Instead of having to restart. Because we got checkpoint, we got key. There's one key in your pocket. Yeah, okay, okay. So for some reason this thing didn't spawn. Alright, we just bugged it out. We literally bugged it out. Hey, we spent a long time thinking about it, though. Interestingly enough. Yeah, because I unlocked this. And this didn't spawn here either. And there was also no response to it, so... Anyway, I feel at least partly vindicated by the fact that, you know, we have now confirmed that I didn't do anything wrong, but I was staring at that for far too long, I think. Uncaught Cursor, welcome. I hope everything has been doing fine with Maker Central, which has, I think, instantly become a very valuable resource. We were doing lots of Maker earlier today because we caught up on 7MMC. Oh, whoops. Okay, low on ink. I do have to use ink to throw a small fry from time to time. Whoop. Bad idea. Oh, running out of money for it, yeah. Seemed like it would be taking a pretty substantial hit on a major project like that, but... Anyway, we've got that. We should open up the other gate that we saw on the other side, but we'll open up the crate first, and we'll wait for this guy to come back. There we go. We're a small fry. You're wondering what my opinions were on AI-generated art. You know what? A number of people have been asking me about this because this is something I used to pay close attention to. But I'd kind of been behind on a lot of the developments with Dolly and all the interesting things that have been going on with, you know, people trying to game the various machine learning prompts to see what would happen. Anyway, we've got 2 keys. We'll unlock them both. We'll see what this does. I guess the point of this is to, raise the gate so we can actually create a high wall. Interesting, because now we've inked the upper level as well, which allows Small Fry to sit on this and allows me to get upstairs. Stable Diffusion is an open source model that's almost as good as Dolly and only runs on 8 gigs of VRAM. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I've been out of touch with it recently. I used to really keep up with this stuff, but I've had a lot on my plate this year, let's say. But yeah, it's been kind of interesting. Like, as with anything that has some kind of string input to it, it's sort of interesting to watch people who essentially playtest AI and AI language models, for instance, kind of try their hand at this stuff and see if they can trick out the model to produce any interesting patterns or unexpected responses. Okay. Eating contest when, little guy? Well, I think that's what Splatfest is for. And that little thing really has an appetite. Oh, you're talking about Small Fry, not Big Man. Okay, that makes more sense. Now, was there anything at the lower level that I wanted to be aware of? Because I didn't really even look at the lower level to see if there was anything collectible there once the gate had been lowered. No, there wasn't anything. This was just an end. Oh, balloons. Wait, what balloons? Yes. We'll take them. Small fry will devour everything. You don't know exactly how to think about it from a moral perspective. Well, what do you mean a moral perspective, though? Are you interested in it from the point of view of, you know, like, intellectual property, or like philosophy of creativity, or anything like that? That's... It's funny because, as I was saying earlier in the stream, I've actually been spending a good chunk of this year watching all of Star Trek and filling in the gaps of what I did not see when I was younger. And there's actually a very interesting episode near the end of Star Trek Voyager that treats this subject in terms of like whether AI is entitled to protections for intellectual property and the right of an author to withdraw their work. And things like that, which is kind of an interesting twist on the usual AI rights kinds of issues that have become quite cliche in science fiction by this point. I got my gear back. I've already seen a few traps. The use of artist data to create a system that decreases the economic value of normal work. Yeah, no, I totally understand that that would be a concern if it is, in fact, something that's seen as competitive, which, you know, we always have to account for the possibility that it will, and then we always have to look ahead to that. In the same way that, like, a surprising amount of sports writing these days, I think, is actually sufficiently covered by AI generation, right? Like, if you just need a reported text blurb that interprets a baseball box score or something, we already have AI models that can and will do it, and it is true that it requires us to kind of rethink and reconfigure what exactly is the value being added by the human element, which I think is still substantial, and which, you know, will always find ways to resist duplication. But it's kind of true that from a forward-thinking perspective, we can't just always assume that AI can't do this or AI can't do that, because sooner or later it'll just get up and surprise you. But where am I going? I'm not paying attention because I was talking about AI artwork. I was totally just exploring and wandering around. I'm also tired, so. Also, I think the bug that we ran into earlier kind of threw me off, to be honest. Where it's like backwards, forwards, upside down, whatever. You never know when something just doesn't load. That's the first time I've seen a bug that glaring in a Splatoon game, I think. And I'm sure it'll be patched out soon enough if people actually report it. And I'm sure it's been picked up already at this point. I don't know if it was introduced in 1.1.1 or if it was already there. Anyway, Splashdown. Where do we want to use Splashdown? If we want to use Splashdown. Hang on. I mean, we've got ink now. We can go anywhere we like, right? So why don't we go anywhere we like? Nerd sniping moment. Yeah, it very much is a nerd sniping moment. I've completely lost track of where I was going. And, oh, this thing here. Okay, yeah. I'm not good with 3D space. Right, that's what happens when I'm not paying attention to the exit. You know, I played a fair bit of Salmon Run, but I never actually saw the Mudmouth glitch myself. I should look up some video of it, because I only heard about it after it was patched. Don't you think we should get a move on? Yes, I think we should. At this point, we're being much too distracted. The one reservation I have about the Splatoon 3 campaign is that even though it's modeled after Octo Expansion, some of the levels are open enough that they kind of make me want to poke around like I did in the vanilla campaigns for 1 and 2, but they don't have any substantial collectibles to them other than little pockets of cash here and there, and so never fear, you'll be free soon. Yeah, we'll go down, but let's take a look at this tower first. Together we shall bristle forth into a fuzzy and profitable new era. You're just trolling us, right? Wonderful. Get. Captain Cuttlefish, or former Captain Cuttlefish's pun game is unimpeded. Anyway, let's run around the tower. A crash that could occur if you kept hitting Moz with certain specials. Interesting. Oh, there's another vent. This time, this one has a tracking arrow on it, but you know how responsive I am to arrows. But anyway, in general, on COD Cursor, I think the answer to that is that historically... well, let's take a look at this first of all. All routes closed while launch sequence initiates. Have a nice day. Are we under time pressure? We're not. Okay, good. We can talk. Historically, I mean, I've been thinking about this in terms of things like, you know, chess analysis engines and such, especially because with the whole kind of not really cheating scandal that was popping up in the chess world this week, there was a lot of discussion again about a whole generation kind of growing up in an era when chess engines superior to human play are just norm, right? And I think when you have some kind of displacement of human skill like that, we ultimately find ways to accommodate it and, you know, find some ways to kind of bring it back under our control as a tool that becomes a part of our own palette in a way that it's not so much a question of what AI art is doing cheaply, but how new experimental artists are able to therefore use it cheaply and innovate that way in a way that has not yet been anticipated. And I'm planning to visit a virtual reality, like a sort of experimental virtual reality exhibition later this week, in fact, and I'll see if I actually make it. I've never been that keen on VR as a future direction for what we could consider the mainstream game industry. I think it's kind of in a premature state in that for the kind of games I play, it doesn't add as much value as you think it would. So I'm not very bullish on AI when it comes to how the game industry tends to think about it, but as a form of expression for people who would otherwise be doing experimental film, for instance, I think it's got a ton of potential. And there were actually some single-player fixes. Yeah, I mean, I haven't run into single-player issues, like I was saying. So. You made some stuff in VR, and you definitely think it could be used for more educational purposes. Yeah, I remember that, like, even back when the Wii Trauma Center game came out about a decade or more ago, that people were already kind of talking about whether that kind of signaled a possible future for things like training simulations. Oh, Reach Slider. Yeah, we should actually use our specials. I haven't been paying attention at all. I've been enjoying the Reach Slider a lot, although you can tell that people are quickly learning to play against it. If you're against a team that doesn't know what it's doing, Reach Slider just kills everything, but then its effectiveness drops off very rapidly against people who do know what they're doing. So. Oh, whoops. Your thesis was about a VR application to treat children with selective mutism. Interesting. You should actually tell me more about that. Maybe not while I'm trying to splat at the same time, but I actually would be interested in hearing about it. So. Anyway, Splashdown, refreshing special as we know it in Mario Maker Land. Okay, Inkvac. Been playing a fair bit of Inkvac lately because I have been running Jet Squelcher in Ranked, just like I used to do. You've dodged a Reach Slider more often than you died to one. Yeah, people are learning the Q quickly. It's more You know, when you have a new Splatoon game, you have that initial stage where people are still figuring out how things work, which is like the old days of the Splatoon 1 test fire when everybody died to the roller. Because people just didn't know how to run away from rollers back in the day. Anyway, Inkzuka, or the Triple Ink Strike, rather. Triple Ink Strike I have not had a lot of success with, but I haven't played around with it very much, but I was having trouble with it even in campaign, so we'll see. It can suck up a Booyah Bomb, I didn't know that. I was using it to counter some ordinary bombs. And even to counter some enemy specials, but... Inkvac is great as long as you don't forget to defend your own position, because it's very easy to just stand there and let it vacuum things up and get flanked if you aren't paying attention. Oh, that was totally not a hit. Okay, that's fine. Totally missed it. That's fine. I've got it. Cleared away with your crab tank. Where's my crab tank? Here it is. Now, since we're going through the whole rotation of specials, we know it's only a matter of time before Zipcaster comes into play. And we know how much fun that is. Okay, hang on. Maybe I should lob up against that. No. Hang on. Whoops. So much for the tank. You can also suck up the Ink Storm projectile. Ink Vac projectile tends to missiles Ultra Snap Hammer when thrown. It's like the Kirby power, right? The ultimate power. Whoops. Okay, we actually need to small fry this thing. We should... Yeah, there we go. That's how to do it. Actually thinking ahead for a change. And we're back to good old splashdown at that. Another crab tank. Excellent. We can actually roll around with this one for once. The only thing that can't suck up is the pain you feel when falling in the water in Mahi Mahi. Yeah, there's another map like that too. I don't quite have all the names of the maps straight yet, but there was another map where I was falling into a crevice quite often. Okay, we've got to ride these guys. And not bust them down myself, because that would be unproductive. Oh, Octo Sniper is going to... You know what? Take that. And whoop. Oh, okay, so much for attack. Well, it served its purpose. Okay, there we go. We've had a few false Gramps signals. Pretty sure he's on that launch pad. Get to the building on the right, we can find an answer. Yeah. One cannot run a world in this manner. Anyway, let's zap that. For now, I will let the fuzzy ooze spread and watch the golden eggs pile up. I think it's a bit of a conflict of interest, right? That I've been grinding out Salmon Run at the same time as doing the campaign, while nobody knows, apparently, that all the Inklings and Octolings have been taking on that extra work. Salmon Run will be awkward after this. Yeah, I mean, he's still going to speak to us on the radio, I presume. Giving him a bit of a zap. And yes, I know I'll go to the vent this time because there's an arrow on it, apparently, but I just want to scan around to see if we have anything else to look at. Also, look at that. We can see all of Alterna from up here. It looks lovely. And there's where the signal is coming from, so we'll just head towards that instead. Timing for a salmon walkout, exactly. It's spawning season when they all unionize or something. You have a comment about this, but you'll wait until I've actually finished it. Yeah, Remind yourself afterwards. Can we turn on a light or something? Also, from actually fighting the bosses, of course, I've got a different perspective on the members of Deep Cut now. Like, I wasn't sure I warmed to them at first, but I think having them show off a little bit and have a very distinctive moveset to themselves, so to speak, definitely gave them a lot of personality that I think they really kind of needed, given the existing competition they have from the other enduring idol characters of the series. But anyway, sprint goes down if we can. Yeah, I've warmed to Deep Cut. I mean, I liked Big Man right away because Big Man's design is fantastic, but I have a better sense of who the other two are. And we'll get a better sense as we go when we watch more of the Splatfest dialogue and such, because I think with both Callie Marie and Pearl and Marina, you could very quickly get a sense of how they complemented each other in terms of personality, just based on how they would comment on Splatfest and the like, right? I'm sure we'll see more of that as we go. Okay, sprinklers. Oh, we just went under to sprinklers, okay. We didn't really disable them very effectively, but we'll take it. We've got a splashdown in our emergency. Yeah, the thing is, like, I will also be voting on theme, otherwise I will just wind up picking Big Man a lot. But I picked Big Man in the demo Splatfest and ended up having to defend Tricolor in my region anyway on Team Scissors, and defending Tricolor was pretty rough. You can see why they did a bit of an emergency patch on that while they figure out a proper way to rebalance it. Because it seems like if you look at recent patch notes, it's like they're admitting, okay, we don't have a good fix for Tricolor yet, we'll just try to make sure it doesn't happen so much. Because right now it's not fun for the defenders, or not very balanced for the defenders, shall we say. This reminds me of one of the late sequences in... Well, I mean, we've seen lots of elevator fights before in many different games, but the most recent one that comes to mind is Streets of Rage 4. Which was also the inspiration for, I think, Skelthane's level at the end of 6YM last year. Quite a good recreation of that fight. Yeah, I think once Tricolor was actually put into practice, perhaps it wasn't balanced quite the way they expected in testing. As people were kind of getting used to the dynamic of it too, and understanding what to do on the map. Also because with... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was also under demo conditions where people were still learning the basics of how Splatoon 3 was going to work. I mean, the main thing I'm happy with Splatfest now is that it's gone back to the Splatoon 1 style of being able to stick with your team, which in Splatoon 1 was the point of Splatfest, I thought, because in both 1 and 2, I stopped playing Turf War pretty quickly because I found rank modes a lot more interesting. But then I would go back to Turf War for Splatfest, and it was a lot more fun in 1 when you kind of had the team streak system going in a germinal form. There are a couple of Xenoblade locations just like this elevator shaft as well, by the way. Several of them across the series. You'll recognize that immediately as a Xenoblade player. Oh, whoops. Yeah, it's permit, Electrodude. It's the permit command, I think. Yeah, or allow. Allow also works. Yeah, sorry about that. I should have warned you about that. There was somebody much earlier in the stream who was really desperate to share a picture of a cat, and I said no. Or share a YouTube video of a cat, and I said no. I'm not very curious about what that was, but, you know, we'll see. But let's take a look at the big man picture. I won't display it on stream, but oh, wow. It's like Big Man and Meowser. I mean, if you think about the concept of this story mode in Splatoon 3, it's essentially Super Mario 3D World, or possibly Bowser's Fury, right, where everything is a cat. Very brave to volunteer Agent 3 like that, yep. Well, we can do it. And we can do the fuzzball targeting over here, too. Splatsville is apparently impoverished. I mean, the thing is, it would be less impoverished if you just let Mr. Grizz employ everyone, the way he's already trying to do. And yeah, we can fit down there, but I want to see if there's anything to bust here first. I feel like we should be able to bust that down for something that we can uncover. Let me try to get in position. Because there's definitely a fuzzball bulb there somewhere. Or at least I thought there was. I can't quite see it, though. I thought there was. Anyway. Was it accessible from this side? Yeah, it looked like this was the bulb, right? Or... I guess we... Yep, we should be able to... Or not. Come on, Small Fry, you can do better than that. Nope. Anyway. Zone number 4. The Spirit Lifter. Well, we're way below decks right now, so let's do the climb. Okay. And yeah, we got a splashdown charge up. We won't need it just yet. We might do it here. That wasn't as effective as I hoped. Because their frontal guard against it was rather more effective than I expected, but that's okay. Might as well splash down while we can. Okay. And let's push. And push. Okay, this we can take. I feel like I'm standing somewhere I shouldn't be, but... There we go. That was satisfying. The Spirit Lifter sounds like a recreational drug. I mean, many spaceships do. Whoops. I think I saw this, whoa, that was dangerous. Coming off the rail like that. There was this piece on, I think it was McSweeney's Internet Tendency many years ago. That was like a quiz, Pokemon or pharmaceutical. And of course, if you are actually into Pokemon, that's a very easy quiz, but if you are not, then I'm sure the results will be entertaining. Can we bust this down? Do we have Small Fry? No. Hang on. So, interestingly enough, in the previous area, it was treating it like an overworld zone where we could charge up Small Fry. Here, though, we're not able to. Even though there was no valid target in the previous zone, it was working by overworld rules rather than whatever it is we're doing here. We're not going to make that jump, of course not. We're going to do things the sensible way. And run the wall. Okay. Yeah, we just need to hit this. I always had a lot of trouble with this, even back into the campaign for 2. So if we can find a little escape hatch here, that would be ideal. Yeah, have a lot of trouble dealing with these, so at least head on. Oh, you know what? I was about to drop small fry on that, but that's okay. We managed just fine. Okay, let's stamp it. Whoops. Let's get out of here first. Let's maybe angle ourselves a little bit better. That was not where I wanted to fall, but that's okay. We'll get stamping again. Okay, there we go. Oh, that was a close. And Tony, welcome. Hope you've been doing well. Yeah, we did everything but the finale over the course of several streams earlier this week. Did sites 1 through 6, and I thought at the end of my Mario Maker stream today that I could stay on for a little bit longer to actually wrap this up properly. With the previous Splatoon games, I played the campaign first as soon as it came out, and before I hopped into multiplayer, but this time around I did want to stream it. Particularly because we've, been streaming so many platformers here and talking about level design from time to time. Like we did with Kirby and the Forgotten Land earlier in the year. Hey, actually targeting some of these this time, that's an improvement. Okay. You went into ranked first, okay. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of salmon run, actually. Just building up that initial bank of cash. Actually, no, the main thing I did was table turf battles for the first few days. I got table turf up to about level 23 or so, and the only reason I stopped is because I thought, okay, I should save some of it for potential streaming content if I want to do that. I don't know yet if I have the patience to actually hold off for that long before I just decide to grind out the rest. Because I had a ton of fun with table turf, and now, of course, after playing a lot more of the game in general, I have a lot more cards to work with. Big Man is such a powerful being since he only has to use one letter of the alphabet to communicate his thoughts. Well, do you perceive it as the letter A or the letter I? That's the thing. Launch preparations nearing completion. Please exercise care near closing bulkheads. Are there any good things from Table Turf? Well, a lot of the rewards are just kind of internal to Table Turf. You unlock mostly more opponents to play against, as well as card backs for your decks. And some other things like banners and titles and such. And I think there's an emote that is available fairly late in the level curve, which I do not have yet. But generally the reward for Table Turf is more Table Turf. So, and you get more maps as you go too. Okay, let's actually pay attention to instructions here because I've just been zipping through this stuff while talking about other things. So we need to get the energy course, okay. Get the bright spots, that's fairly understandable. small fry these guys just to play stylishly. And can I shoot them or can I grab them with small fry? No, we just need to jump them. We can do that. Okay. And I guess... Oh, Zipcaster, yeah, wonderful. That's how Zipcaster is being implemented here. Hang on. Okay. I have to remember that we need to follow portal rules here when it comes to the surfaces. There we go. Yeah. Zipcaster, I think, along with Crab Tank, really benefits from getting to play with it in the campaign without worrying about the cooldown. Anyway, let's climb with it. If we can, let's figure out what we haven't unlocked yet. Do I have everything? Got the power cores. Weren't we supposed to do something with that? Let's go up and see. Guess we're missing something. Ah, here we go. You wonder if I'll make the same mistake that you did in this section. Let's see. You're about to find out. Another bulkhead and more energy cores. Let's see. And Electro Dude, you are certainly not kidding about music in this section. Okay. Let's climb. And totally missed that. There we go. And just zip back and forth. Like I've been saying, so much of this game seems to be built with speedruns in mind. Oops. And we'll just go wall to wall. There's going to be a maximum range on that, which I'm going to characteristically have a lot of trouble perceiving. Let's head on up. Have we cleared this level? Yes, we have. Well, I mean, he probably doesn't want to spoil the mistake that he made until he sees me make it. That's the thing. So we'll see. I have to keep you in suspense here. Oops. Come on. There we go. Let me go back down. We'll go for the crates here. Whoa! That might be a potential mistake, yes. Whoa. There we go. Luckily, the other Zipcaster stages taught me a thing or two about the art of salvage. Let's not get too confident about that, though. We still have a lot of work to do. Oh, I see. This thing goes up and down. And yeah, we'll just... Yeah, I think what it is that if you're not in squid form, of course, you hit the bottom of the grate, right? Speedrunners use... About to use a traveling salesperson solver for this section? Yeah. Probably. Okay. I guess so, and you have to deal with it in 3 dimensions as well, I suppose. Anyway, let's deal with that. Well, actually, no, just... dealing with network distances is kind of independent of dimension if you think about it, because it's entirely based on the edge length, right? So, from node to node. Because it doesn't need to make spatial sense, like it's a generalized TSP. Then... I've been away from some of this stuff for far too long. But No, activation failed. I know. Just one left. Okay, we need to figure this one out. There we go. Very stylish. Kind of want to dash all the way across, but maybe we should be cautious. And rotate around, or just come up here, because this is obviously where to go. Okay, now you can tell me what mistake you made in this section, whether it was hitting the grate from the bottom or something similar. Releasing bulkhead number 2. Here we go. We'll say that worked a lot better than the inkjet section in Octo Expansion did for me. Which is probably the best showing the inkjet ever got, but the inkjet was still the inkjet and has inherent limitations or difficulties. What was I even doing here? We need to go up this way and then... no, hang on. Yeah, let's just keep climbing. Nope. Okay. I'll hit that from the bottom. If you end up in the air and fail to zip cast at a wall, you fall all the way down. Yeah. Getting over it. Okay, let's actually... Yeah, hit the side this time. Instead of completely undershooting it. Whoa! Oh. Well, that's not an issue if you just get turned into a furball. How far back am I? Can't be that far back. I am pretty far back. Okay. Ah, okay, no. I think I actually zipped ahead a little bit, didn't I? Oh no, I didn't. Here's the sniper. Didn't really see where I was going. Oh. We gotta be fairly quick about switching positions, I guess. Unless we, you know, actually do the sensible thing and take him out. There we go. That was stylish. Look at that. Oh, whoops. Landed a little too close to the wall there. Came on a little fur squid. Ah, that was such a great move, too. Feels wasted now. Yeah, if I miss, I should just keep going. We can... Whoops. Yeah, this thing is I'm not retargeting quickly enough. I'm finding a little bit of trouble like seeing my cursor in advance. Oh, why am I grabbing that preemptively? I shouldn't be doing that either. And yeah, I'm kind of dropping into the rim a little too quickly before I can recover on the wall. Which is, I guess, how it prevents you from sinking all the way down to the lower section. Okay, we missed it, but that's okay. We will get this one little section at a time. But nope. Still missing. That's good. Nice to have a bit of a challenge with the Zipcaster. After the previous showcases of it were pretty easy going on a player, this is all a matter of just reacquiring targets quickly and spinning. Kind of need to anticipate. Nope. I was trying to zip into him directly and that was not working. Yeah. Yeah, just need to do good rotations with cursor, I think. Otherwise it becomes an uncaught cursor, so to speak. Anyway, let's hang out here. Recharge. And what did I miss? I definitely missed one. Didn't I? Well, we can take it easy now and just scan around properly. Ah, yeah. Up. Well. And again. I've truly made the pun of all time. I don't know if I can trust your objectivity in that matter, but okay. I'll appreciate your judgment. Okay. Let's see here. Whoops. That's okay. Okay, actually managing to outpace him this time. Except I shouldn't be shooting prematurely like that. I should actually keep unzipping. Yeah, it is very forgiving. Octo Expansion had that system where... its finale was also forgiving, but it does that thing, I think, on replays where it offers you a section skip as well. Not that I ever took it. Because realistically, how is the game going to penalize you at this point, right? It's not like we're using our remaining eggs for anything. The challenge is to just get through it. Unless I wanted to do a big reset, you know, and cancel your checkpoints or something and send you back to the bottom. Which I'd be fine with, but a lot of players would not. Okay. Did we grab everything this time? No, we didn't. I'm sure I missed a few. Yeah, I missed the first one, as usual. Let's be a little more careful this time and shoot higher. Much better. Okay, exit is up. That will do that carefully. Should actually hold the button so I can see my target instead of just tapping it. That's part of the... Oh, it's down there. Okay, yeah. Alright, back down we go. Let's fall accurately, almost. Emergency systems activated. Small fry just chilling on the ledge as you fall to your deaths. The small fry has done his part. Not going to be too judgmental here. There are 3 components to my business plan. The vessel, the spirit, and the wisdom of ages. We should take notes. I mean, I guess cuttlefish must be the wisdom of ages. There we go. Well, that'll be interesting. I mean, it was pretty clear to me that there was going to be a kind of furry form boss of some sort. I was hoping for DJ Octavio, but he doesn't seem to be terribly relevant in this campaign. Also, the fact that this matches my ink color totally made me want to climb. It's not quite the same shade, I suppose. But, you know, if you sprayed it with this kind of paint and you just let the paint dry after a little while, it probably would come out to a very similar pigmentation. A brighter, fuzzier future for all. Which just makes me think of the level in Super Mario 3D World where you're chased down the tower by the fuzzy swarm. Yeah. DJ Octavio has just become the Bowser of the series. He'll just show up now at the beginning and be a total chump. Someday he may even join our team. But, I mean, we still have an expansion to go in this game, right? There will... We've been promised already be some kind of sizable expansion content, which may or may not be single player, but probably will be. Blaming the furries instead of capitalism, just like real life. Ooh, yikes. Just like the one that was pinned to the card that we had in one of the collectible scrolls. Anyway. The Ursine Anomaly, Mr. Grizz. Or as I've been saying throughout this entire campaign, Laugh it up, Fuzzball. Oh, I love the march here. Very triumphant. You can barely contain yourself. It's alright, we're going to consign him to a grisly fate. I remember this part from the later chapters of Bayonetta. Anyway, he's leaving. See, this is why you don't let the furries win, rather. Or the fuzzies, for that matter. Anyway. Oh, poor thing. But how? Anyways. I was jokingly referring to one of the earlier streams as the Tears of the Inkdom, and that appears to be accurate. Yeah, he just needs some water. Just spray him with something other than ink for a change, perhaps. No, Mr. Grizz was not in Bayonetta, but the part where you ride the rocket into the stratosphere is. It's a rather memorable rocket sequence. Okay, these guys. Deep Cut's gonna steal the spotlight. You know what would have solved this problem, right? Is Marina's helicopter. Although I guess it would have a limit on its elevation. So we'll just take the eels instead. It's a space eel-evator. This is a cool sequence. Wow. This is the part where Splatoon jumped the shark. Yeah, Big Man's headphones are kind of a nice touch. We did it. Where's Mr. Grizz? Okay, so this is where we've been collecting everything. Well, well, such dedication to your work. I am, after all, a true professional. Although I've been demoted to part-time professional because of that rotation with the dynamo roller, which I think caused mass suffering. Anyway, this will actually show you how to play against the Kohozuna in Salmon Run, and that you can actually toss your golden eggs, perhaps. Nice to have a spectacle boss again. I think the previous one was a bit of a letdown. We're supposed to use small fry, obviously. That's, there we go. And there will be cost attached to it. Well. So yeah, we just need to hit each point. This is much more like the boss in the first game, I think. In that it is a continuous push forward as you try to claim territory. Got a bit of a Super Mario Galaxy element to it in some ways as well, but... Anyway, let's... I can see what you were saying too, Electrodude, about the Kirby fights being kind of reminiscent of this as well. Can we target that glowing point there, maybe? No? Oh. That is his least vulnerable spot. Oh no, we can just, Are there more fuzzballs back here? No, hang on. Let's try try to approach him. Nope, that's not it. Hang on. Part of the song sounds like the iPhone timer ringtone. Interesting. Okay. Let's back up here and just try to figure this out from a distance. We're clearly supposed to push forward using... Yeah, try inking the weird splotch. That's what I was thinking. But I was hoping to use small fry for that, but... Oh, you can just use standard small fry, okay. You don't need to power him up. That is his least vulnerable spot. Okay, and then we get more fuzzballs. Which... So we're literally picking his zits, is what we're doing. You're not clocking out that easily. You can also shoot it. Well, we have small fry. We're going to be stylish. More fuzzy ooze. Anyway, we have another spot to look at here. We'll probably need to dodge more projectiles and other hazards incoming. Yeah, the inspiration from the Splatoon 1 boss fight is very clear, I think. It's much more like that. Which I'd miss because I remember... Whoa, okay. There's a bit of a galaxy rotational mechanic here. I wasn't paying attention to that at all. Yeah, so... It's like the spine of Deathwing here, for those of you who know what that is. From way back in Cataclysm days of World of Warcraft. Well, except the thing about Super Mario Galaxy, though, is that you could stay on the rotating surface, right? You just... Unless you fall into the black hole, but... It's always kind of interesting to see Galaxy influence on platforms both 2D and 3D, because it's been around for long enough that a lot of its ideas have been absorbed in some very subtle ways. We're not... I think we need to do a larger ink pattern and then squid surge our way up to keep pace. I think that's probably one of the things that we're expected to understand here. Whoops. Anyway, let's grab as much as we can so we can just bust this down before things get too complicated. It is going to go the wrong way, though, so let's just remain centered and catch it on the other side. Move with rotation. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We do need 3. Anyway. There we go. And we'll do something about that pustule over here. Yeah, no specials, you'll notice. We're not going to splash down our way through this thing. Just have to collect everything we can and... Whoa. How much does this cost? Don't know. Uncertain. But we'll just collect everything we can and hope for the best. No, that's not even a target. Yeah, we need to target him directly here. Go. Nope, we stood too close. We should have used small fry. Should have listened to my own instincts there and approached it the same way that we did before, which is with the small fry method. Okay, let's be a little quicker about this stuff before the rotation gets in the way. But the blob is all the way on the other side. We'll need to do the rotation anyway in order to get it back, regain access. I just taught you the word pustule and you already hate it, yeah. I guess you have word aversion, like some people do to the word moist. Or it's just too evocative of a thing that it actually denotes. Whoops. Okay. Sound. Ah, no, we need boss music. Not doing this without boss music. Just give me a moment. Yeah, we had return of the sound problems today on the stream. I certainly don't want it to get in the way when we start hitting critical things like the end credits or anything like that, so. Yeah, let me know if it's okay, or if the audio is still glitchy. Whoops. Nope. Oh, right off. Yeah, moist tends to be the really famous example of people suffering from word aversion. Because apparently it's quite common for people to react to that negatively, let's say. The audio seems fine now. Good. Yeah, because, of course, people will recognize this music as being directly based on the Salmon Run Grisco motif that was already introduced in Splatoon 2. Rather appropriately, since we are fighting the boss. The boss is literally your boss, by the way, in this particular fight. Which may not exactly be a hint of subtlety. Little part-time employees just beating up the boss. Wow. Okay, small fry, do your work. Oh, there's the buzzball. There we go. Popped that just as I was about to be popped. But this is a growth industry. Anyway, we're standing in a whole blotch of enemy ink. Let's keep pushing. Alright, checkpoint. And let's get out of here before rotation becomes an issue. Oh, hang on. Come on. Get out, get out. And that's been solved. Okay, let's keep pushing. And music's picking up. Appropriately so. Oh, whoops. This guy? Nope. There we go. Thank you, small fry. And let's just rotate around. Yeah, this has really picked things up after the frankly, rather unimpressive final boss fight in Splatoon 2, which was kind of a disappointment coming from 1, given what a spectacle that one was. But yeah, you're kind of back to pushing territory, using the full range of the skills you've developed so far with at least this basic kit of the hero suit. Small fry. Okay, we're being zoned out here. Let's make sure we can get back into a decent position. Yeah. I mean, the way I described the Splatoon 1 campaign, for those of you who missed out on it, was that, like, it was maybe 70% tutorial and 30% one of the greatest Nintendo boss fights of all time, and we got a bit of that magic back here, I think, which is really nice to see. Yeah, better to let Small Fry do the job there. Pretty easy going compared to the Splatoon 1 fight, but maybe we're just a little more accustomed to this stuff by now. You are proactive, aren't you? And yeah, hopefully sound stays stable for the end credits, because I want to enjoy our share of that. I guess you're saving Pearl and Marina for the eventual DLC then. But that's okay, we had a good showing for Deep Cut this time around, and here I am. Oh hey, he's back. Yeah, he totally has pulled a Bowser in terms of joining our side. Let's bust that bear. Let's send him into the bear market. Deep cut. And yes, it is your turn. Okay. There we go. Calamari Incantation. 3 mix. Yeah. Calamari Incantation is just absolute magic every time it shows up. It's just wonderful. And I love how you first discover it as salvaging sheet music in a first game, too. 3 lights united to consume the disaster. Huge fry. Oh, he totally is ascending. Look at that, Magikarp has evolved. Is filled with fuzzy ooze. Eliminate the fuzzballs to help Huge Fry. Okay. Anyway, we got to rock out to Calamari Incantation for another phrase, which is great. Return of the Mammalians. Go back to Ursa Weiner. That's fantastic. Okay, let's hop in. And let's get into the mech finale here. Steer the Octobot King and vacuum things up. So it is going to be time limited, as with Octo Expansion. Okay, that's 333. Whoops. Suck in the fuzzball. Okay, there we go. Alright, drive to mech. And oh, there we go. And then we just get to scrub this thing. Except we need to occasionally defend the platform, which... This is the second game this year, after Kirby and Forgotten Land, that has a finale that seems to take some cues from the Wonderful 101. Because the Wonderful 101 has all these defend the space platform segments, where you're doing 2 things at once, except in that instance it was a lot of attention management between the Wii U gamepad and... Anyway. Let's give him a scrub. Whoops. No. Not quite doing this correctly. Yeah, we do still have to avoid the attacks, I think. We are under a bit of time pressure here, and it gets cancelled out if we don't. Whoops. There we go. It's like playing roller on a galactic scale. Come on, Huge Fry, give me a little bit of assistance here. Whoa. What do we keep popping out here? Is it just ink, or... There's no ink depletion here. It's just... There we go. 2 left. Let's get back to piloting, if we can. Let's cover the platform in case we need to defend it. Oh. Okay, we do need to drive around these obstacles. Let's... Hang on. Let's actually pay attention to what's going on here. Took you a minute to realize you could steer a spaceship. Yeah, me too. We're so far away from Earth that there's enough atmosphere for a huge fry to swim through the ale. Anyway, here's the apocalypse sequence, just like the one in Octo. On that day, a massive fuzzball was born in space. I don't know if I'm fond of that timeline. Let's rethink this. Anyway. Well, I mean, that was a learning run, just getting used to how this fight is going to work. Especially because we do need to defend the platform from time to time. There we go. It's working. And let's drive. Okay, yeah, I guess we need to navigate this and just not run into things with the ride that we're getting from our friend the DJ. Oh, whoops. Don't hit those things, they send you flying. Oh, yes, they do. It's... Well, they're having this little galactic punch out of theirs. Hang on. What did I hit? Thought I had enough space there. Let's... Come on. There we go. Almost. I did see the bad ending, yeah. We're true completionists. We also see the failed conditions. So. Okay. You know, I kind of like that the spectacle sequence isn't just a freebie. I think sometimes Nintendo boss sequences have a bit of a habit of just letting you have a free win at the end. The Zelda games really do this sometimes with the final phases. Even Breath of the Wild kind of did this. You know, basically once Zelda decides to come out and pull out her bow in some of the Zelda games, you kind of know it's a free win from there. And it was kind of like that with the Splatoon 2 fight as well, once you get into the rail sequence with the Rainmaker. But this is a lot more satisfying. Okay, we got a minute 17, we've got to get back on track while they're having their big punch out. Look at that rocket, too. Now that we've defuzzed it. Yeah. We need to treat this like a 2D plane, of course, even though these orbs are kind of bouncing up and down. Let's... Okay, let's pop some of you guys. Get you out of here. Should be able to finish the scrub here. We've got a splashdown as well if we... this is a good time for the splashdown. Let's do it. That was the appropriate time for splashdown. Okay, we got a fuzzballs. He's still on the move. Let's finish him. We fired that fuzz right back. Look at this. What a great view. Alright. Well, he'd better go down within however many seconds we have remaining, because we were running down the clock there. All of my work has been for nothing. The times have changed. The world can never be as it was. I suppose this is it then. Yeah, I suppose so. I feel like that's going to be a very useful screenshot to have around if any of you ever need to fire somebody. Okay, so much for huge fry form. The real bad ending is the friends we didn't make along the way, to being too busy playing Splatoon 3. Yeah, but if you get a small fry out of the deal, I think that's fair. What a buddy. What a champ. Anyway, Earth has been protected. You'd think the clever thing to do would be to stay in space and actually survey the planet, since I don't think civilization here has a particularly great idea of geography. Anyway, let's see what Deep Cut has to say about what just happened, and potentially see some credits. I also wish my headphones had force fields. As long as it doesn't add any additional latency, you know. I can barely contain myself. Breaking this. Yeah, oh yeah, great Zapfish. I also forgot about that. There's more broken news. This is about the new Squid Sisters single. Okay, we're in for a treat. Boss Marie and her assistant lady. They're the Squid Sisters. Well, I guess we're not very good at telling faces apart. Well, until then, let's play their latest. Here's Wave Goodbye. Catch you later. Anyway, let's listen. And these being Splatoon end credits, I'm sure we can just spray everything along the way. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. Oh, except we have little globs in space instead of any kind of continuous spray. Interesting variant on some of the past credits when you could just ink up the whole screen. Anyway. It must be a real pleasure to work on a Splatoon game and have your name up in the best developer end credit art design that and type design that anybody receives. You know, just to have your name up in these lights. And under all this fluid simulation. Depends on how much crunch there is. Yeah, exactly. But that's true of anything in software development of any sort. And yet. Yeah, we didn't really quite see the fate of Craig Cuttlefish here, though. Whether he was in any way restored. But yeah, I don't want to talk over the Squid Sisters too much, but since we're at the credits, I mean... I thought it was a great finale sequence. I'm glad we saved it for today, because there's no way I would have been able to push through the whole thing in a previous stream. And good to have a couple of you folks here as well, now that enough people have finished the campaign that you have something to watch without fear of spoilers. Yeah, in general, I thought it was a very strong campaign. Definitely an improvement from 2 in terms of the vanilla experience. Not quite as tight as Octo Expansion, in that it seemed like some of the level design was caught between wanting to be like 2's levels and wanting to be like Octo's, and I think that made the lack of collectibles like the old Scrolls and Salmonids kind of very noticeable in the course of playing the stages, especially because I explored very freely. But you can tell that it was really built for speedrunning, like I was saying, and it'll be fun to watch. I'm not a speedrunner myself, but the kind of spectacular expert level play will have a ton of potential here, I think. I don't know if I'll go through it and do the missions with every weapon. I never did it in Octo Expansion either. But we'll go through some of it at some point. And yeah, Merlin, you just tuned in at the end. So you are seeing the end credit sequence, but I guess you won't be spoiled for what happened before it. We've had a long stream today. We ran 7 MMC levels for about 6 hours because I was insistent on collecting everything. And it took way too long about it. Yeah, we won't be doing it as a mega stream every week. I can't run streams of this length very often anymore. I'm partly doing it because I know I have a busy week ahead, and if we don't get this stuff done now, it won't get done. All this ink will probably affect the day-night cycle a little bit. Not really. It's just going to dissipate in space. Yeah, I feel like in general, the Splatoon series, in terms of its single-player experiences, they don't get enough credit as 3D platformers because they feel like the natural development of what Super Mario Sunshine was trying to be. And that was especially obvious with some of the boss fights in this game, I think. Because if you go back to Super Mario Sunshine, you can see all these things that were eventually refined into what we have in Splatoon. Anyway, we're going to get to thanks for playing. I think we're going to get that pretty soon. And yeah, indeed, Big Man. Really a highlight of this experience. Look at that. That's the thank you for playing screen over here. Inkling, Octopus. Now the thing is, when they release DLC, will we have a new playable type coming in? Will we actually get to play as Fuzzies? I kind of doubt it, but you know, you never know because Octolings were such a substantial addition back in Octo Expansion. Anyway, we're done. Hero Mindset replica, interesting. Hero Suit, yeah. And Hero Boots. Actually 3 slots on this. I already have a bunch of ink resistance, but we can always use more. A Hero Shot. Looks like we've got the Suction Bomb and looks like the what is it? The name escapes me, but you know what I mean. Oh, and we have the completion sticker. Okay, great. A secret kettle appeared. We should take a look. We should definitely take a look before we log off. Cat expansion where you play as one of Judd's clones. I kind of like that. And you can be all judgmental at the end of it. And you can kind of see the restored Zapfish here on the credit screen now, can't you? Or am I just seeing things? Like on the left side where it kind of curls around. Is that the Zapfish? I can't quite tell. I got a new badge. We won't do too much with that. I want to see the secret kettle. Let's see how that is accessible. It wouldn't be accessible just from Alterna, would it? Or no, it would be because that's where the kettles are. So let's take a look. I'm not done. Let's keep going. Maybe there's a bonus fight. Maybe it's going to be a murderous bonus fight like what happened in Octo Expansion, where I still haven't quite beaten the actual final boss after all these years. Okay, let's see what happened to Cuttlefish. I totally missed that screenshot. Trying to get the whole ensemble here. Basically save the planet. I love how our new captain is just very silent about this whole thing. A voyage. Some kind of tour where you go places. Well. Oh, hey, they're giving me a booyah. I can't booyah back, though. Oh, whoops. Skipped over that message. Something about a heartfelt message. Stay fresh. Okay. What's this about a secret kettle? Let's see here. And Merlin feeling a little bit sick. Yeah, I hope you get better. This is it. Oh, let's see if we can talk to him a little further, just to see what's going on. Don't be shy with your ink. Splat everywhere. Fill up your gauge and get upgrade points. Yeah, we've done that. Who's running Grisco? Yeah, I would assume that doesn't actually change anything about Salmon Run, but there's a lot going on in the new Squid Speaks Splatoon. Anyway, let's take a look. Here's something new. After Alterna, reach the goal to gain access to the censored log. Yeah, we're doing it. Costs 333 to do this. Little Judd now has headphones on, which only happens after beating story mode. Oh, interesting. So we looted something for him. That's a lot of 3s. Wonder if we need to fight the former Agent 3 again and totally get our butts kicked. I guess we don't actually have butts, so we get our tentacles licked. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Good luck, you'll need it. Alright, let's see. Let's get this thing started. Okay. And alright, that's fine. That's a bad start. Considering we only have 3 continues here before that happens. So it's rumored that Little Judd now runs Grisco Industries. I guess if he has the same radio voice, though, dude. Can anyone tell the difference? Whoops. Alright. Anyway. There we go. Let's not miss the jump this time. Let's swim properly. Give it a bounce. Keep watching your step, I guess, yeah. Whoop. Oops. Let's not fall off every edge. That'd be helpful. Yeah, we'll probably need to learn to steadily, but we'll do it. This is a jam-packed finale, by the way. I didn't expect it to be this substantial, but we'll see how much there is to traverse here before we make any assumptions about what ground we need to cover. I see no checkpoint so far, by the way, which is great because it's a finale and we should definitely be tested on our stamina here. Oh, okay. Well, that's bad news. Whoops. Bad news bears, you might say, before all of the handiwork we just did with Mr. Grizz. Also, audio already? Okay, just a moment. It's very much like Champions Road or The Perfect Run. Okay, so if we don't learn it properly tonight, we'll dedicate a stream to it. I did not expect something that substantial, though. But I'm very glad to see it. Very, very glad to see it. Given how much I love Champions Road and Perfect Run and levels like that. Anyway, we need to get upstairs, don't we? And why don't we... What was I even doing? Oh, yes. Hang on. There we go. Actually, having to use the squid search for a change, that's kind of important. Oh, we need to actually time this out properly. Oh, nope. That's okay, we'll swirl around. I can't believe that worked. Whoa! That did not work so well. Zipcaster, where are you? Maybe got a little overconfident after salvaging it the first time. Well, I've got cash for many attempts here, so... just need to not make quite so many mistakes. Okay. That's great. Those 333s are going to start adding up, yeah. Well, this is going to be a bit of a trial run. We'll make a few attempts, and if it's actually as substantial a challenge as you're telling me, then we will perhaps need to save it for a different stream. And because I'm running quite long today, this is my longest stream in a very long time, probably this year. And whoa, no. There we go. Very easy to just make simple errors like that, unfortunately, and we'll need to work on our consistency, which is very much the point of late-game marathons. I mean, part of me is actually quite happy that we have even more content to show off here. But might take some practice. And because even replaying Champions Road on the Switch after having previously beaten it on the Wii U, that was something that took me quite a bit of time to do it with all, 5 characters. Back when I streamed it a little over a year ago, I think. Okay. We're being a little bit sloppy though, so let's see if we can at least get back to where the best attempt was. And we'll see if that can be much improved. Okay, keep watching your step, I guess. And let's pop that. Okay. Whoop. I feel like we're going to have some Octo Sniper trouble later as well. In fact, nope. Yeah, I gotta remember to ink a little more space in that spot before I try to do anything like that. Yeah, it's Paul Whoops, says Uncaught Cursor. We meet again. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah, so I didn't even know this stage existed, which is why it comes as such a pleasant surprise, because I'm always kind of singing the praises of massive marathon finales. One of the first things I ever played on the stream was Ukulele and the Impossible Lair, which is very much the model for how to do that. It's an absolutely fantastic game. With a huge finale. Okay, we need to, first of all, adjust the camera so I know where I'm facing, and then get some speed back so we don't just sink in midair, and then let's continue. Okay. This level should be called Over Alternative because I'll be over to single player once I'm done. Interesting. That's okay. I mean, like I said, after playing Ukulele and the Impossible Lair, I think the calibration for what is a reasonable finale is completely off. Hang on, Squid Surge, come on. Give it to me. There we go. There we go. Hey, new record. Okay. Well, everybody speaking here seems to have cleared this already, so how bad could it be? Whoop. You got through most of it in one shot, except in the end. Yeah. Where you got your tentacles licked. Okay, we need to have enough of a surface here. Let's ink it on all sides just for safety, so we jump it and miss anyway because I forgot one side. Okay, fine. I was being so cautious, too. That's okay, we'll learn it steadily. It might be a longer-term project. We'll have to juggle it with some other streaming commitments over the next little while. So, I might as well speak ahead a little bit about what's in store for the stream. We will, of course, be continuing to do 7MMC week to week, and we'll see if we can bring a day back for viewer levels, as I was saying. Because I think I like 7MMC on its current schedule, where we do it within the first day of launch. Since we have so many regular viewers involved in that anyway. Splatoon 3, I guess we'll be streaming a lot more of it now that we know that this level exists, if I don't clear it today, which I don't necessarily expect to, given that I thought I was about to log off. We'll give it a few more attempts, and we'll see how we do. Before this turns into an accidental 12-hour stream or something. Next week, though, I'm planning to hopefully find some time for Return to Monkey Island. Because the LucasArts point-and-click adventures are very near and dear to me, and I'm also curious. I've spoken about this on a stream before, but I actually met Ron Gilbert, the creator of Monkey Island, some years ago, and I asked him, so what is the secret of Monkey Island? And he actually did give me an answer. And I'm kind of wondering if any revelations in a new game will match what he told me many years ago, and whether he stuck to that plan. You're excited for the Big Run event. I don't think I know about Big Run event. I haven't been up on any community stuff lately. There's been a ton of community stuff I've been completely oblivious to. So let me know about Big Run. I actually have no idea what that is, I don't think. In-game. Okay. Oh, is it something that has been data mined? Or... oh, the event where you play Salmon Run on a normal map. And by that you don't mean a normal map as in, you know, the way you apply surfaces to objects. To texture them. Okay. There we go. I'd completely forgotten about that. Was that in the direct? I guess the Direct was so stuffed with content that only later became relevant to me that way. Didn't even think about that. When summoners invade incompletes and you play summon run onto multiplayer maps. Okay. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten that existed. And, so... Okay, just to keep things reasonable, we probably... Well, let's see if I can make a reasonably deep run on this attempt. If we do, then I think it might be the last attempt. Well, if we die really quickly, though, like right here, then obviously we'll keep playing to try to save some face. But I'm going to try to push on a little further ahead, but it's clear to me that this is going to require its own stream. And my voice is starting to run out today, so... I should also get some sleep at some point. I had, I was already kind of pushing it with my original plan of, oh, we'll be done in 7 MMC in 3-4 hours, and we'll just Splatoon after that, hit the end credits, say goodbye. It'll be fantastic. We obviously ran this stream about double the length that I expected. Which I said I will rarely be able to do. Today was kind of a unique opportunity to actually get a stream in. Because I normally can't do this. Okay. But yeah, obviously that didn't quite go as I expected. In a good way. I'm glad we have so much content to work with, and, you know, having a finale like this is like Nintendo secretly knew what I was wishing for. Because even in the 3D Mario series, the thing I look forward to every time now is the massive grand finale. And I'm just very glad this exists. You might think that'll change my tune by the time this is over, but we'll see how much work it takes. And we'll push it on it. Here and there. There are some Champions Road style levels that I've wanted to beat in Mario Maker for a very long time as well, and I haven't gotten around to finishing them. Oh, this is a problem. Can I reach with Small Fry? I think I should. No, I can't. Alright, let's make sure we've got all the walls down here then. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's not get shot in the face this time. That was a bad way to go. Okay. Let Small Fry do a little bit of work. Squid roll towards the platform, yeah. I've barely practiced squid roll in the main game, so this is kind of a nice opportunity to work on that. As we get into ever more execution-sensitive elements. And oh, it looks like that was chained previously. Okay, let's not fall like that. We do need to practice the camera adjustment on this. Oh, squid roll away. Yeah, that's right. Squid roll away. There we go. Just needed to scan around the camera to see what was going on. And let me catch up on chat while we have a moment to take a look here. They can have Wahoo World, yeah. It basically has the structure of a Salmon Run map already with that kind of radial center and everything, which is naturally where the eggs are going to go. We're going to ask if there were any 500-second speedruns before you realize you literally created a means of looking them up. Yeah, exactly. A bit of developer myopia there, perhaps. Whoa, no, no, no. Okay, we need to cling on to that. Probably. I get a little bit jumpy on walls sometimes instead of cling onto them properly. Let's ink all 4 sides. We want this to be completely covered before we do anything dangerous. Just as a precaution. And we'll probably fall off spectacularly anyway, but... we'll just kind of do a bit of a tap input here to maintain height. Oh, missed a little bit of that corner. Okay, that's okay. We got it. Flanked in. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like figuring out camera management. This one's also going to take you forward, and then we'll see. Let me try to ink some sides as well, just to make sure we have a bit of a fallback. But it looks like kind of getting onto the wall and then tapping up to stay on the wall is the method here, if we can get a clean drop out of that on the other side. This requires a certain amount of self-control where you don't just jump around the way you normally would and then rotate the camera face the correct axis. Backwards squid roll. Where am I aiming? I don't know. That was a blind jump, but we took our fellow agents on faith, and that worked out, so... Whoa. Okay. Alright. So, yeah. Okay, this I'm probably going to have trouble with, given my history with jumping around at squid rails. I'm not good at that, but we'll make it happen. Just need to stay in squid form whenever we can. I've fallen off a lot of squid rails in this game. Whoa, no, 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 no. That was a panic move. You were doing fine on this level until we decided to pull this. Okay. As I said, if we put in a really deep attempt on that one, we were going to call it for today, so I could save my voice a little bit. I think we will stick to that principle. Close to the checkpoint. Don't tell me there actually was a... Oh, there was a checkpoint. There is a checkpoint. Did we hit a checkpoint? I didn't know there were checkpoints. You know what? Let's see where... because it just previously gave me the start over prompt, didn't it? Or is retry from checkpoint just starting from the beginning? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it was just the starting point because it gets you past the initial payment gate, right? So, let's bail for now. Because I don't think I'd hit any kind of checkpoint, and I didn't think there even was one, to be honest. There are actually multiple CPs, but the sections in between are really long. Okay. So if we're almost at the first one, I think this is going to take a little bit of work, and I'm glad we didn't hit a checkpoint and feel a sense of obligation to keep on going and developing upon that success. Let me kind of put my high sensitivity controller down so I don't have so much camera shake as we went down the stream. But after Alterna, we'll have to wait, but we are going to push through it. I'm very eager to do it. This is the kind of content I always say I like as an endgame, and it's time to put our money where our, I don't know, octopus suction cups are. Champions Highway, exactly. So, thank you so much for joining me for a long stream. Actually, one of the longest streams I've run. Definitely the longest one this year, I think. Between the Mario and the Splatoon segments. We will continue, and we will beat this sometime, but it might be after a bit of a break from Splatoon. We'll probably be prioritizing Monkey Island in the coming week, as I said, and I've got a couple of outside commitments which will make this schedule a little bit tricky, but we'll try to be back for 7MMC next week. And like I said, I'm going to try to find a viewer level time. It might not happen this week, but we'll try to get it back into rotation as some of this other content clears up. Probably Tunic sometime in October, if we can fit it in, because that's come highly recommended. But After Alterna is going to keep the single-player element of this game alive for quite some time to come, perhaps. You spent half your day watching my stream. Well, it was very valued presence, Electro Dude, and congratulations once again on the launch of your level in 7MMZ Week 2. Hope it goes places and attracts some proper comment art, so Red Moon doesn't hog all the love. We're going to send you off to somewhere else. I don't know where yet, but we'll scan around, and I've run so late that we probably have a better range of options to pick from today. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching this special double feature. I don't know when we'll be able to do something like this again, but whenever we can make it happen, we will. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging around, everybody who has stayed to chat or has even stayed to lurk. And good to see you again on Caught Cursor as well. Don't forget about your own tools, is what I would say, even if there is some AI involvement that will eventually overtake your own abilities. Join us for a raid in just a moment. But for now, after Alterna, have a great week ahead of you. Enjoy playing, enjoy making, and fare thee well.